Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who for the record appears to be missing at the moment, texted Mark Meadows, then Donald Trump's chief of staff, 29 times that we know of to try to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Now, just to back up to the whereabouts of Clarence Thomas for just a moment, earlier this week, it was reported that Clarence Thomas was in fact in the hospital with flu-like symptoms, is all they would tell us. Then, as the week progressed, they told us, he's recuperating, he's doing okay, he's going to pull through. Is he in the hospital? We're not going to answer that. So we literally do not know where Clarence Thomas is. And that's a little suspicious, right? So either way, fast forward a day after they were so, opaque about where Clarence Thomas is, and we learned this new information from the January 6th committee. According to the reporters who have seen these text messages, Ginny Thomas, Clarence Thomas's wife, was, of course, trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Here's just a sample of a couple things from some of the text messages that we know about. This was one, of course, she sent to Mark Meadows, says, "Do not concede. It takes time for the army who is gathering for his back." That sounds a little insurrection-y to me. I mean, I don't know how you interpret that, but do not concede. It takes time to raise an army. In my opinion, that sounds like the wife of a Supreme Court justice calling for the citizens to rise up and overthrow the government of the United States. That's treason. Like that is, you go to jail and you don't ever come back out of jail. So, just throwing that out there. That's my opinion. But I would say that would be the punishment for just that statement alone. And that's just one, again, of 29 that we know of so far. Here's another one. Sounds like Sydney and her team are getting inundated with evidence of fraud. Release the Kraken and save us from the left taking America down. Oh, you're hinging all of this on Sidney Powell. Yikes. Maybe not the most credible person to, hitch your wagon to. Although, it makes a lot of sense now, right? Okay, you're getting all this horrible information from Sidney Powell. You're using her same language of release the Kraken. And, again, your husband is sitting on the Supreme Court. Of course, not now, because, again, we don't know where he's sitting, because he's disappeared. I have to imagine that now with all of this new information about his wife, pushing for, again, what is, in my opinion, treason, he may stay disappeared for a little bit longer, let things kind of die down a bit, because this is really terrible. There's already calls, of course, for Congress to begin impeachment proceedings for Clarence Thomas. If he will not willingly resign, he is currently the longest tenured member of the U.S. Supreme Court, serving since 1991. They're saying if he does not resign, Congress needs to move forward with impeachment, and I wholeheartedly support that idea. This is a step too far. Okay, it's one thing for Ginny Thomas, she was a Tea Party activist. She's still a big Republican fundraiser, huge activist out there. I get it, right? It does create a bit of a conflict of interest for Clarence Thomas himself, but we know he's also a conservative, so, really what's the conflict there? When your wife, on the other hand, is openly calling for the overthrowing of the democratic election here in the United States, then that crosses a new line, right? That's a totally different ball game, and she should be held responsible for it, as should Clarence Thomas. Because even though Ginny has claimed in the past that her political activism has no bearing whatsoever on her husband's role in the Supreme Court, that's just not possible. This is your spouse. This is the person you've been married to for 35 years now. You share everything. You talk about things. You have secrets with each other, not from each other, with each other. There is no way in hell that he isn't to some degree influenced by what his wife does. And now that we know how extreme what she does is, Clarence Thomas, if we can ever find him, has to go. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low, low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.